Hello, Coffee World. And hello, Jeremiah.
Hi, Brandon. How are you?
I'm doing good. We're here for another tech video.
We are.
This is pretty fun.
It is.
So today we're going through how to plumb in a rocket,
Yep.
to your home, to get a water supply from your home into your rocket.
Yep.
And essentially, your rocket will come with a metal braided hose here, and it will come with a little fitting down here, and the braided hose will fit onto the fitting down there just fine.
Fits on the machine nicely.
But the problem is, it doesn't connect to your home. It doesn't come ready to connect to your home.
No, you have to do a little more work to connect it to your house.
Exactly. Essentially, we have to convert British pipe threading to your home. This is your sink.
Yep.
This is what we're pretending your sink is, which is
National
threading.
pipe threading, yeah.
So like we said, the machine doesn't come ready for that if you want to plumb it in. So Seattle Coffee Gear has a kit making it able for you to do that.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier. And it's very easy to connect and reconnect the machine if you have to get it serviced or something like that.
Perfect. And in order to do this, we're going to need a couple crescent wrenches and some Teflon tape.
Yep.
That's really all we should need. We should let you know that the hose that we provide here is 4 feet long, and this is 5 feet long?
I think it's 4 to 5 feet.
4 to 5 feet. So we're looking at somewhere between 8 and 9 feet of length. If you need something less than that and you don't want a bunch of extra hose, then you might want a pair of scissors to cut this down.
Yep.
So let's get the kit out here and talk about what we're going to do. So essentially, we have this fitting right here, just one fitting, and it's meant to go to your metal braided hose provided by Rocket. And the way we're going to do this is get some Teflon tape, and this is just a precaution using Teflon tape just to seal the water path through the threads.
Yep.
And that sometimes that can create a leak over time. So this is just kind of hoping.
It's just a precautionary step.
Exactly. So I just wrapped it around there. Just use it, like you would on any fitting.
Yep.
And then we're going to get it on the edge of this.
Yeah, and I'm going to do
And then you're going to do the max adapter.
the max adapter that goes to your wall.
Exactly. And in order for me to do this right, I'm going to need 2 crescent wrenches. One to hold the fitting on the hose, and one to hold the adapter itself. So I got that on there. I'm going to hold that. And now I'm going to get this all sized up and start tightening this. And Jeremiah had a good tip. You know it's tightened when you no longer have play with this joint.
So this joint right here has a bunch of play. Because you're going plastic to metal, you can break the plastic very easy. So you want to go till you get snug, and then usually go a little bit more. He's not putting a lot of force onto it.
That's pretty snug right there, so I'm going to leave it.
He'll play with it, and he'll see it's stiff. It doesn't have any movement.
Yeah, it no longer has that movement that it does here. That's for sure. So that's good. So we got that one set.
So you got that set.
And you got that all Teflon tape.
Yep, so this is Teflon tape. This is what's going to connect from your house to the machine. So this is 3/8 compression. That'll go to your shutoff valve in your house. So you'll shut off your main water supply, disconnect your hose to your sink. Your sink hose will connect right up to this. So this, just imagine this is coming from your sink faucet. Should thread directly onto here if it's 3/8 compression.
Which it should be. That's
It should be.
standard
It's
in
pretty
all
standard in
residential
all
plumbing.
residential plumbing.
Yep.
And that turns on and gets tight. So then that's now hooked to your wall and to your sink. And then now we're going to take the blue hose.
Exactly. And like we were saying earlier, this is 4 feet. That's a lot.
It's a lot.
That is a lot. And if you don't need that much, feel free to cut it. But if you do cut it, one thing you really have to focus on is keeping this straight, because you'll realize in a minute when we connect these two. And I'm noticing that this is actually a little angled.
A little bit.
Do you think that's
you're
fine?
okay.
Okay, cool. But essentially, it's called a quick connect, right? It's called a John Guest quick connect. So it's very easy to use. We'll show you guys here in a minute. I'm just trying to get the bend out of it. Okay. So you do your side.
So what you do is you grab a hold, and then it should just push in, and you'll feel a click, and then give it a tug, and it shouldn't come out. You'll see the piece of plastic separate a little bit, which is good. That means it's locked into place.
Yeah, and that's also kind of how you let go of it.
Yep.
I mean, if you want to release it.
If you want to release this and you need to take your machine in, you'll see it like this. You'll shut off the water at the main, turn the machine on, run a little bit of water out and quickly shut it off. this will compress a little bit. Then you'll take your crescent wrench, actually works really well, fit it just to the size of the tubing. Compress that crescent wrench down, and then you should be able to pull that back out.
Pull it right out, I see.
So that's why they call it quick connect.
Yeah.
Because you can quickly disconnect and reconnect them back together. So that one's hooked in.
Let me do my side. Let's see here. Gonna let this kind of hang
As you
over.
can see how 4 feet is
It's very long.
pretty good distance.
You know, so and it kind of comes like this in case maybe you have your rocket a ways down from your sink or something like that.
Yeah. So you've got the 4 feet of the blue hose plus the braided hose.
So I got that in there pretty well.
Yep.
I mean, I did feel the snap and it looks like it's going very well.
Yep.
That's great.
That's now connected it from your wall to your braided hose. And then what we'll do next is connect it to the machine real quick.
That sounds good. Okay, so we got our machine here and we have our water inlet right down here. As you can see, it's got a cap on there. So we're gonna want to take that off.
Sometimes you might need to use a crescent wrench, but usually they're not very tight.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they're not too tight of a fitting.
So there's that. That's off. Now, would you use Teflon tape right here?
I would just be safe.
Gotcha.
Just because it's just a safety factor. It's compression. You don't need it, but I have seen compression fittings leak. So it's just a safety. It's not going to hurt anything.
Kind of like a Murphy's Law approach.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And if you only have to do 1 to 2 wraps, you don't need to go overboard on it. Just enough so that it doesn't leak overnight when you're sleeping or something. And I'd recommend doing it in the day. So you can leave it on and make sure you don't get any leaks and double check it 3 to 4 times just to make sure all fittings are tight.
I'm gonna rip this off a little bit.
You can keep tipping it until they actually touch the drip tray,
Oh, look at that.
and the drip tray will actually hold it in.
Okay.
With this extra little strip, I'm just going to put it up at the very top
Okay, gotcha.
because it doesn't matter.
Now we're ready to take.
Now you're ready to take your hose that connects to your machine and then thread that on.
Perfect.
And then I'll let him take a crescent wrench.
Perfect.
And usually if you do finger tight and then about 1/4 to 1/2 a turn,
Whoops.
usually is tight enough to
Okay, yeah, so
get it.
I don't.
So
I'm
I
gonna
think
go
you got
one
it.
more, just to be safe.
There you go.
There we go.
So that's on there.
And then it's kind of on the swivel, so you know it's not gonna be hitting
So
the
it
ground.
swivels up and then you can set your machine back down
Let's-
and it doesn't put any hard bend in it.
There we go. That's perfect.
And then you just drop that and you're good to go.
Gotcha. Now we'll go through what you need to do in terms of the software on the machine
Yep.
and getting ready to accept the water from the main supply.
Yeah, so this is a R58. So this is all done through the PID. The Evos, usually you pull the water tank and there's a switch in here.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's a lot easier on the Evos
Than the R58.
than the R58. The R58's all through the PID.
Yeah, and if this was an Evo of some sort, whether it's Cellini or Giotto, then you'd be doing this whole same thing. Everything's the same. Yeah,
Everything's
exactly.
the same from where the water connects to the
Perfect.
machine. They didn't change it for either model.
Gotcha.
And
Perfect.
Now it's just a matter of getting the PID plugged in.
And the machine?
Yep. And you always want to plug the PID in before turning the machine on,
Perfect.
because if you don't, the PID won't work.
I got it too.
And then,
Okay, I'm gonna plug it in.
yep, you can plug it in.
We're good?
Yep, and then we can turn it on,
We're on.
and we're on. And then it says right now, alarm, water reservoir is empty. So because we have it plumbed in, it wants the water, we have it set for water tank. What we're gonna do is, where it has the P and the over, press down and over, and just hold it. It should enter into where it says language. Then you're just gonna scroll through.
Kind of in programming mode
Yeah,
right now?
we're in
Got it.
programming, and then right here it says source reservoir water. That's the one we're gonna change.
We want it to be water, not reservoir.
We want it to be connected.
Connected. Oh, source, water, reservoir, source, connected. Got
So
it.
it's source reservoir water connected. So that's telling you you've connected it to your house to a water line supply.
Perfect.
Then you press OK. And then you just keep going through OK until the very end, and it should say boiler temperature 140 degrees for ours because we just turned it off and it's now heating.
Gotcha.
So it should be good to go. If you turn it around, the machine, the green light should be solid.
Yes, it is.
Instead of blinking, because if it's blinking, it means you're out of water.
Got it.
And you didn't get it set right.
Got it. That's kind of the error code.
That's the error code.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And you're saying once you have this all set up and you have all the pressure running through here with your water turned on at your home, at your wall, then you should kind of leave this on overnight, make sure that it's holding that pressure and you don't have any little drips or leaks anywhere.
Yeah, you don't want to see any leaking or any dripping around here. And then you also want to make sure you double check these fittings.
Yeah.
And these fittings.
Exactly.
Just to make sure you don't get any leaks.
Yeah. And a good rule of thumb always is with these metal braided hoses is you never want any, here, let's put this down a little bit. You never want any big bends right here, right? Because that will put way too much wear and tear on this. You kind of want to have these like that, and then save the bends, if you're doing any in your path, in the middle of your hose, whether it be the John Guest hose or the metal braided hose. If you have any twists and turns going, have it in the middle and not right around the seams.
Yeah, I'd actually recommend if you're really close, cut a short piece and just have it short. And then because, I mean, they provide you with 4 or 5 feet of hose, you might as well just cut this shorter.
Exactly.
And then you're good to go.
We kind of give you a lot of room for error.
Yep. Room for error or room if you want to move it on your counter.
Exactly.
So it's not closer to your sink. You can actually have it a little ways away.
Totally. Well, I think we've successfully plumbed this in, Jeremy.
We have.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your help.
Yeah.
And if you guys have any questions, please call us here at Seattle Coffee Gear. Thank you.